Bennett, did you do the back roll one? Can you do one with me? Just watch you do it a little bit. Nice. Okay, beautiful. That looks great. Rich, try to get both toes on the mat. There you go. Yep. It's going to help you commit to it. Nice, Eric. Rachel, is that Caroline with you? Just give me a thumbs up if it is. Oh, yeah, there you are. Hi, Caroline. Looks good, guys. Nice. All right. Nice work, guys. What's up, Sean? Okay, next movement. So look, I'm going to do it first with a partner because I want you to have context for the movement. But then afterwards, if you don't have a partner, you can do this on your own. This is the long step drill. So I'm going to have my partner lying flat on their back, their knees up, and I'm going to be in this knee cut position. Okay, so without him, right, it looks like this. Are you again? So I'm in the knee cut position. My right hand, or I'm sorry, my left hand is controlling the lapel, and my right hand is grabbing his pant leg. Okay, so my left hand is on the near side lapel, my right hand is on the pant leg. I'm going to step my left leg out. I'm going to drop to my left knee, and then with my left hand, I'm going to let go of the lapel, and I'm going to wrap his head and step back. And then I'm going to come back to the same position. And I'm just going to rep this 10 times each side. So step, back, step, back, step, back. And guys, the reason this is called the long step is because I'm taking this wide step with my outside leg. So one more time. The grips, same side lapel, grabbing the pants on the other side because I want to push that leg open. And I'm going to take that step with my left leg out. I'm going to drop my left knee to the mat. And from here, I'm going to wrap his head. One thing that's really important is I don't just want to fall onto my side like this, because then he can get up, right? So you have to stay on your elbow. Then you're going to switch sides. Without a partner, I'm out of shape. Without a partner, it's going to look this, right? I just get the grips. I step, one, scoop. And then you're going to switch sides. And we're going to do 10 each side. Go ahead, guys. Should probably be doing this with you. I'm sucking wind over here. Nice, Eric. I want you to flop to your hip. There you go. Good. Yes. Nice, Bennett. And here, you can be on the ball of your right foot. See how you're on your right knee? I actually want you up like that. Yeah. Good. And now you're going to step. There you go. Very nice. Nice, Rich. Nice, Rachel. Nice job. Nice, Sean. Sean, I don't know if you can do this. If you can lower the camera just a little bit, like just tilt it downward so I can see you a little bit. There you go. Perfect. Thank you. What's up, Rich?
Are you shooting when you go for the pass? When you're here?
Mm-hmm.
Here? Are you shooting crossface?
So
I'm
not worried about cross facing here. I'm not worried about turning because like this is a perimeter pass, not really a pressure pass.
Okay.
Right? So I'm much more worried about just making sure that I'm kind of beating their legs. Okay. And then having enough room to get back up on top. I'm not worried about driving into them.
Okay.
And if you guys are done, like I want to wait till everybody gets their reps in, just go ahead and do some more reps. Oh, Iggy, I miss you too, buddy. So Eric, I'm going to nitpick just a little bit because it looks really good. The one thing I want you to try to avoid doing is you're starting to open up your chest, right? And I don't want you to lean backwards. So I want you to kind of stay, yes, more like that. Do you know what I mean? Good. Nice. Is that Nick? That is hilarious. Look at Nick's training partner.
Yes.
Nice job. Got that dog trained, man. Sean, that looked good. What's your daughter's name?
This is Lainey or Elena.
Hi, Lainey. Let me see you do it. Let's see it.
Come on, okay. Pants first. Into headquarters. Yep, step around. Into headquarters. Yep, grab the key this way. Nice. Yep, down on the knee. Oh, nice job.
Good, Lainey. Nice work.
Thanks.
Good job, guys. Grant, what up? So Grant, we're going to be doing omoplatas, man. We're going to get right back after. We're going to pick up where we left off. All right, guys, let's move on. Look, everybody looks good. Just a little bit about this pass, this long step pass. This is a great pass for transitions, right? Like a lot of the times this works really well when the guard player is trying to recover their position, right? So this is like a lot of passing. Doing these movement drills is super important because whereas obviously all jiu-jitsu is very conceptual, there are certain techniques more than others that really require a lot of muscle memory. And this is one of them because you have to be able to do it quickly, right? And it can't be like, jiu-jitsu is one of those things where I hear all the time, and I don't really I don't really agree with this, where it's like, if you're thinking too much, like you're done. Or if you're thinking, you're losing. So that's not true. Like if you're not thinking, you're losing to someone who is, right? So, but the key is you can't be thinking about or trying to recall how to do a technique, right? You have to be able to have you have like a toolbox with a ton of different tools. You got to be able to grab the right tool, but you have to be able to grab that tool quickly. So we want like a lot of this, this downtime that we have right now, like there's so much opportunity to get much better at jiu-jitsu because we can get all all this technique practice in. And that's with or without a partner. Okay, so now we're going to get into the sleeve collar position. And this is a variation. I'm going to talk about a variation of the lasso that I really like. And I'm going to explain right now the difference between the different lasso positions. But first, I'm going to move back a little bit. I have you in my closed guard. Can you guys see me okay? I think so. Good. Okay, so I'm going to start with Will in my closed guard. And I'm going to control, I like to grab both of his sleeves. Because a lot of the times, like if they're about to stand up and I know I'm not going to be able to hold them down or break their posture, I just want to make sure that I have grips that I want. This is something that's very important. I should never have my guard open without grips, right? So at the very least, if he opens my guard, I'm going to have the grip advantage. So I'm going to control both sleeves. Will's going to stand up, right? And as he stands, I'm going to drop my right knee through, and I'm going to put my foot on his hip, and with my other leg, I'm going to lasso. Notice my toes are still on the outside, so they're not inside like this. This is totally cool, but it's going to be different. It's going to change the trajectory of our attack sequence. So I'm going to start with my toes out, my knees out, and look, if I'm wearing a wristwatch on my left hand, I'm turning my hand, I'm turning the wristwatch, the face of the watch against my leg. If I can tell the time, I'm doing this improperly, because what he's going to try to do is circle his hand out. He's going to circle his hand out to the outside of my leg, like this. So I have to keep his hand here. So if he tries to circle it, I can prevent that from happening. Okay, so here we are. Now, I'm going to take my right foot, put it on his bicep, and my other hand is, once I have my right foot on his bicep, my right hand is going to travel to his collar like this. Okay, and this is the position we're going to play with for a second. I'm going to have the guy on top circle his hand inside my leg 3 times, and I'm just going to make a small circle and replace it. He's going to do it again, and one more time, and then he's going to try to go the other way. He's going to try to push my leg off, and I'm going to circle it the other way. Notice these are very small circles. There's a few things going on here that are important. The circles are small with my right hand, okay, or I'm sorry, with my right foot, and my right elbow is in front of my leg. So he can't push my leg across and smash past it, right? I'm like this. So I just want you guys to practice this position for a second. So one more time, he's going to get down. I'm going to control the sleeves, okay, and he's going to pop up. I'm going to bring my right knee inside, and my left foot is going to go to this, this lasso position. I'm going to take my right foot, put it in his bicep, and then my right hand is going to travel to his collar. Okay, and from here, I'm just going to have the guy on top circle their hand 3 times one direction, and then 3 times the other direction. Right? Practice that position. Okay. Real quick before we start, and do you guys have any questions about that? And yeah, for this one too, like if you just want to get work in, right? Like especially right now, this is going to be hard. This could be hard to do with the dummy. I'm going to give you guys another option here. So you can use your belt, right? So it's not as good, but I've done it in the past. You can fold your belt in half, and then you can put your feet here in the belt, right? And you can change your angle, and then you can come out and lasso, right? So you can still get the foot positioning. It's just going to obviously be tougher without a partner. But again, this is where you can just be taking notes and conceptualizing this stuff. Any questions, guys? You can type in the chat if you have them. If you don't, get after it. Grant, I love your picture, dude. That is hilarious. You're adorable. What happened?
Hear me?
Nick, it is just hilarious, dude. I can't stop watching it. I think next time what I'm going to do, guys, if you don't have a partner, right, and if you don't like have like a a dummy to work with, I'm going to have you guys do a workout. Does that work? During the portion while everyone's drilling stuff, I'll just have you guys do a Tabata workout. I still want you guys to come though. And while you guys are doing this, just so you know, I would love feedback when this is over. This is obviously new territory for all of us. So if you guys have ideas on how this could be better or more productive, you're not going to hurt my feelings. I want to know. My goal is to have this be as productive as possible for all of you. I do think once we start really getting into the Omoplata stuff, I'm going to be able to point out some details that you're going to be like, they'll be kind of light bulb moments. So it'll be worth your time in that regard. But I do want you guys, if you can get a workout while you're watching this, awesome. If you guys have feedback, let me know. Do you have a question? Bennett? You good? Cool.
Sorry, I was muted. I'm just trying to watch what other people are doing.
Yeah, man. And if you have questions about the Omoplata or anything, you can ask. Like, use this time as a Q&A while they're working. I'm happy to answer questions. How about you, Grant? Do you have any questions, dude?
I have none. Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Oh, I couldn't. I was trying to figure out if you could hear me or not. No, I was just coming through to say what's up, man.
It's good to see you, man.
You as well. I have nobody to train with and no dummies, so it's all good. I just been working out.
Yeah.
What about you?
So if you can still watch it, awesome, because I'm going to get into the same stuff we were doing. And what I said before you got here was, in Denver, we were doing that. We were about to do that deep dive into the Omoplata. I'm just starting from the beginning of that segment of that learning block, and we're going to go all the way through it. So I'm going to do the monoplata, the spiral arm bar, the Clark Gracie choke, all the different attacks from the omoplata that I like to do. I'm gonna teach.
Perfect. I'll jump in here and there. Because you've been adding in extra details from when I used to take privates with you back in the day. The last time we were in class, there was a bunch of stuff I don't remember ever seeing before. So
yeah, no, I've definitely expanded that game a little bit.
Perfect.
All right, guys, we're gonna move on. All right, next piece. Let's get into the omoplata. So, what I want to explain before I start teaching the technique there's a few things. One is this lasso position is, in my opinion, one of the strongest guard positions you can play. Generally, if you have the lasso, they can't pass until they remove it. Right. So to pass someone who has a really good lasso guard, you have to know what you're doing. Right. So the other thing I love about sleeve collar and spider guard is you can really offset pressure passing. Right. So one thing you always wanting to be asking yourself is, what is the strength and the weakness to the guard that you're currently playing? Because there are strengths and weaknesses to every single guard. That's what makes jiu-jitsu so cool, is there's no golden bullet. Right. There are absolutely pros and cons to every position. So for example, the pro to De La Hiva, like one of my favorite things about the De La Hiva is I'm controlling one of their legs, right? So they can't run around, right? So if you're playing with a passer who's super mobile, and they're like, I think of like Mike Tusignan as a good example, right? He's very difficult to control. He's he passes really well from the outside, right? So I really like to limit his mobility by controlling his pant leg, right? And then having the De La Hiva hook. Now, if you're playing with a really good pressure passer, right, the De La Hiva is good, but they can still really start to impose their weight on you. So the spider guard, or any variation of the spider guard, is very good because I can offset their weight and I can keep their weight. I can control the distance. So then you can play variations of both. Like you can play the spider, like the De La Hiva hook with the spider position. So I'm just going to kind of articulate or show you what I'm trying to articulate. So I'm training with Will, and he's standing up, and he's a very good outside passer. Maybe he's good at the Toriano, so he's good at grabbing both my pants, hopping back, and moving side to side, right? This is a position I don't want to be in. So what I like to do is use this De La Hiva hook, right, to cut down on his movement. The problem with the De La Hiva, right, is what? He's got a free arm now, right? So now he can double team my leg, and I have to deal with this, right? So but you have to be paying attention to what they're doing. Now, if he's a really good pressure passer, which Will is, right, when we train, he's always in that knee cut pressure position. He gets rid of the De La Hiva hook, and he starts putting pressure here, right? Now, this isn't doing me a ton of good anymore, right? So that's where I like to play here. But if I notice that he's doing a lot of pressure passing, right, this is going to help me keep his weight off me. But if I start to see that he starts running back and trying to Toriando, I might go back to the De La Hiva, right? So you have to just be reading the situation and playing the appropriate guard. But back to the lasso with the sleeve and collar. This position is awesome for attacking the omoplata. And the omoplata, in my opinion, is the most dynamic submission, right? I wish I had learned it earlier. I didn't get good at it until I was a brown belt. So here's what we're going to do. We're going to get a bunch of omoplata setups. So I'm going to start here, and I'm just going to lift my foot. Okay, I'm going to lift my foot, and what I'm looking for is space between his knee and his elbow. I'm going to lift my foot, and then I'm going to shoot my leg over his back. I'm going to lift his arm in the air like this. And then I'm going to put it in my pocket. And I'm going to bring my knee down to my chest. Okay, so one more time. We're here. I lift. I shoot the leg over, and I put his hand in my pocket. And what I want you guys to do right now is to get 10 reps of this. And we're just going to do one side, but I'm going to do 10 reps each. So I'm going to lift, shoot, and back. Lift, shoot, and back. Okay, again, 1, 2, 3. Okay, and we're just going to enter the omoplata. Before you guys start drilling it, the reason this sleeve collar position is so good for the omoplata is I have so much control over his posture and one side of his body. So I'm really like pulling him into it. Two things are happening. I'm pulling down as I'm shooting my hips up. Okay, so guys, get with your partners. You can start in the closed guard where they stand up and you get your grips, and then just get 10 reps of the position or of the entry. Go ahead, guys. Nick, you are actually getting that dog in omoplata. I think their bodies are built differently, so you got to be a little careful here. Is it? Poor Nirmal's going to have a broken shoulder. Yeah, is that Nirmal or is that Ellie? You guys are ridiculous. I love how you're there, Anna. I love how you're there and could totally be doing this with him.
Oh, I'm technically in online class right now.
Oh, okay.
Is it still called an omoplata if you do it on a dog, or is it something? Is that a dogoplata or what? Like,
I like it, a dogoplata. Yeah, that's hilarious. Nice, Laney. Very good. Dude, that was really good. Nice work. Nice, Rich. Nice, Bennett. Bennett, where do you train, man?
I train in Denver.
Oh, you do? Okay, cool. I haven't seen you before. Or maybe I've seen you, but we haven't been in class together.
Yeah, not yet.
Whose class do you usually take?
I've been going. I started doing no-gi with Elliot, and then
Oh,
I
right on.
playing with Junior or Chris.
Nice, awesome. Well, thanks for coming, man.
Yeah, thank you for having me.
Yeah. Nice, Eric. That looks good, man. And Eric, this is going to be hard for you here just because there's no posture to work against. Like, so they're opposing when they're trying to get posture, it actually gives you like an anchor to pull yourself up, right? So everything's going to be, this kind of stuff is much harder with a dummy for sure. But I still think it's good that you're doing it. That wasn't coronavirus, I swear. What do you think about having? Rachel, I just saw your question. Was that in regard to the omoplata or the long step?
Mm-hmm.
I like that too.
Okay.
Yeah. You're talking about like your right hand. So like if you're long stepping to your left, having your right hand on that near side pant leg.
Yeah.
I like that too. Yeah.
Okay. Cool. Thank you.
Because it turns into that like that one pass that we,
Mm-hmm. Like the
Oh.
one that I do from stacking the person and
Yeah.
then you end up like unfolding them.
Yeah, I like that one. Yeah, that works.
Cool. Thanks.
Yep. Laney, Sean, that looks looking good, guys. Sean, can I watch you do a couple real quick? Laney's, you look great. Nice work. Beautiful, very nice. And then make sure you put her hand in your pocket. So you want to push her. And yeah, so let me see you do it one more time. There you go. Very nice. Good. All right, guys, let's move on to the next piece. Okay, so real quick, I had mentioned that you're looking for space between their elbow and their knee. Most of the time, like if they're really good at defending the omoplata, we might need to play with their balance or create that space. But for right now, a lot of times you don't. A lot of times, if they're being careless, or they're not really thinking about defending their elbow, you're just going to be able to fire the omoplata. But a little bit later, we're going to get into some ways to make that space, to make it happen. One of the things I want to point out, though, is one of the most common things that people do, right, is when we just talked about this, is they try to circle their hand out of the lasso. And if you watch, I'm going to have my brother do it, and I want you to watch his elbow really closely as he does it. So we're here, right? Watch his elbow. So he goes to circle his hand. See how his elbow just opened up? So I'm going to bait that, and the second I see that, I'm going to fire the omoplata. I'm going to put his hand in my pocket. And then look, I'm going to bring my knee to my shoulder, and I'm going to use my right arm to pull him down. Okay, and the reason I'm pinching my knee to my shoulder is I want to babysit his arm for a moment, because I'm going to let go of that sleeve and get a new grip. Okay, if I am being careless and I'm not babysitting it and I just let go of the sleeve, he's just going to circle his arm out, and I'm going to lose the position. So I have to pinch, right? And then I'm going to let go of the sleeve. I'm doing almost like a sit-up to try to pinch his arm. And I'm going to lift my leg up and reach underneath and grab this grip on his lapel. Okay, and then from here, I'm going to use my right foot. I'm going to circle around, and I'm going to sit up to my elbow. So we're in this omoplata position. Turn a little bit. Okay, so it's very similar. Everything's the same to what we were just doing. Let's move back just a touch. Everything's the same as far as the setup goes, but now I just want to talk about finishing the very basic omoplata. And there's a lot of different ways to do this, but what we're going to look at right now is how I'm going to put pressure on his shoulder. So one of the mistakes that I see people make a lot from here is they just start curling their legs back and trying to finish from this position. But this can be very difficult to finish someone from here who have flexible shoulders, or someone who's seasoned, like a seasoned jiu-jitsu practitioner who knows how to defend, because he's going to roll, right? I'm not going to be able to just finish. I need to get him onto one of his hips. So today we're just going to look at the traditional finish, and I'm going to move this way and get him onto his hip. I like to take my left hand from the saddle grip. We're going to call this the saddle grip, and I'm going to move around his hip, and I like to grab his lapel if I can. If it's no gi, I can just hug his hip. Okay. Now look, what I'm doing here is very important. I'm never sitting back because, again, I always need to be babysitting this arm. I can never let this arm circle out, right? So I like to I'm always keeping kind of like some tension, or like I'm pinching my quad to my abdomen. Do you guys see it? This is very important. And then look, from here, I am going to start putting pressure on his shoulder. So right now you can see Will's shoulders off the mat. I'm going to straighten my leg. And as I straighten my leg, I'm going to lean forward, right? Because again, if I just straighten my leg and I'm sitting back, he can circle his arm out again, right? So I always have to keep this relationship. So I'm going to straighten and lean forward, and see what it starts to do. It puts pressure on his shoulder. Once I have his shoulder to the mat, I'm going to curl my leg back, and I'm going to put my knee to the mat. So I'm keeping that pressure on his shoulder. And then I'm going to curl my other leg back. And from here, you can start to move backwards. But what I'm going to do, right, is I'm going to take my right hand now. I'm going to make a switch. I'm going to grab the lapel, and my left hand is going to reach back, and I'm going to grab the cuff of his near side pants. And all I'm going to do is move back, and I'm going to drop him to his hip. And then from here, I'm going to reach underneath, and I can come up and finish the Omoplata. So one more time from the beginning, and then I'm going to let you guys work on it until the end of class. So he's standing up. He circles his hand out. I shoot the Omoplata. I bring him down, and I keep this pinch tight. I get the saddle grip, and then look, you can use your hand on the mat to come up to this Omoplata position. Okay? Once I'm here, I'm going to hug his hip. I like to grab the lapel if I can, and I'm going to straighten my leg, but I'm still leaning forward, right? And then I'm going to circle my legs back. You're going to make a grip switch. 1, 2. Okay, so the thinking here is, guys, I'm pulling with my right hand, but I'm preventing his right leg from following me. So it's going to drop him to the hip. And then I'm just going to reach underneath his armpit, gable grip, finish. All right, guys, let's get after it. See how I pace this. Not great. We have 5 minutes to work on it. I'll get better at this. The pacing's a little... not quite used to it yet, so it's going to take a little time. Lainey, do you have a question? All right, let's see you do it. Bennett, are you going to use your pup there as a Nuki or what?
I don't think he can handle it.
What's his name?
Emmett.
What's up, Emmett? Hey, buddy. Eric, I'm actually really impressed with that Omoplata on that dummy right now. So here, one thing I want to point out is, see how right now you're on your right hip? You want to switch to your left hip. So switch there. Yeah. Are you pushing the pillar? I'm pushing it away, Rachel. I'm trying to push with my left hand and then pull with my right. And guys, if you have questions right now, or if in the last 5 minutes of class, please let me know.
When you change your grip and you go to grab the foot, is that arm coming behind you?
Yeah.
And that's pushing?
Yes, here, I'll do it. I'll show you. So, I'm gonna get the Omoplata just on this arm. So I'm here, right? Can you see all okay? I'm going to take my right hand and I'm going to grab here. And then my left hand's going to come behind me. So if we move this way, you see it? And now when I move, I'm pushing with my left hand, or I'm just blocking it. Because if I don't do that and I just move, he's going to follow me with that leg. See how the leg follows me? So I push it, and now he can't. And then I can finish. Does that make sense?
Yeah. Okay.
And like, just so while you guys are doing this, just to be kind of talk about this a little bit. The Omoplata is an extremely dynamic position. And one of the reasons I actually didn't like it earlier on in my jiu-jitsu journey was because I felt like I was always ending up in this sort of like sloppy sweep position where I would maybe get on top, but I wouldn't be in a good spot. So I was like, oh, I'm just going to do the triangle because I'm going to get the finish, you know? The truth is, the better we get at the Omoplata, we want it to be like a closed loop. So essentially, no matter what he does, I'm going to be able to chase the submission and to follow him, right? And ultimately get closer and closer to that sub. The reason I prefer the Omoplata to the triangle is because the triangle, Laney, that looks great. Yep, nice. Yep. The triangle is easier to defend at higher levels. So when you have more experienced opponents or partners, they defend it much more easily. Whereas the Omoplata is just a more difficult submission to defend. Guys, if you want to see a textbook Omoplata right here, look at Nurmals deep in it. This is a hilarious.
That defense is unbeatable.
Man, it's just.
He took his gi top off. It's all ruined.
Hi, Anna.
What's up, Elliot? So guys, just keep working. We're gonna bow out here in a minute, and by bow out I mean just wave to the camera. Just real quick. So again, just a reminder. There's right after this is the 11 a.m. kin stretch class, and then Professor Marshall, are you audible here?
Can you hear me or no?
Your class is 6, right?
6 o'clock tonight. Yep.
Guys, check out Elliot's class at 6. It's going to be awesome. And again, I love any feedback. If you guys have things that you think, you'd like to see or things that could be done differently, we're all new at this and we're going to be doing this for a minute. So we want to make this as useful as possible. And then the last thing I'll say, guys, I miss all of you terribly. I can't wait until this is over and we're back on the mat together. I say this all the time. I love jujitsu, and the cool thing is we can continue to do jujitsu, but I love Easton even more, and I miss all of you guys. So we'll get through this. One of the sayings that's been kind of going through my head a lot lately is tough times don't last, but tough people do. And we're all going to get through it. We just got to, like I said earlier, even, whether or not it's COVID-19 or, we were just doing jujitsu as normal. There comes a time where all of us have to take a break because you get injured or something happens or you get sick or whatever it is. And getting used to having, not being able to train like we normally do, but keeping mentally engaged is super important. In 2009, I had 7 surgeries and I was out for almost a year and a half, and I felt like I got better. I felt like I came back from that much better because I was doing a ton of studying and doing what you guys are doing. It's just doing whatever you can and always have that attitude. So I will see you guys again on Thursday at the same time. Again, this curriculum is going to build on itself. So I look forward to seeing you guys, and thank you so much. Thanks for.
Hey guys, everybody, I pasted the information for the kin stretch class into the chat. So if you want to do that one right after, the information is in the chat. You can just click the button and go right to it.
Thanks, guys. Love you too, Rich. Thanks, everybody.
Thank you, Professor.
Thanks, bro.
Oops, say it again.
Thank you.
Bye, everybody. Bye, chomps.